your Toastmaster of the day. First question I'd like to ask, who here is familiar with the card game poker? More or less. So you might know the term poker face. The definition of poker face is an impassive expression that hides one's true feelings, ultimately with the goal of not revealing your hand to other players. So let's all pretend for a moment that we're playing poker. I'd like you all to hold your hands in front of you as if you're holding a deck or your deck of cards, some cards, and give me a facial, don't cover your face though, and give me a facial expression that doesn't reveal your hand, whether it's winning or losing. Okay, or clearly myself lost that one. Now, if you'll notice, it actually takes some engagement of the muscles in your face to create that impassive expression. You can't actually be dull and lifeless, because when you are dull and lifeless, you're not controlling the muscles in your face, and your natural reactions, your impulses, whatever you're experiencing, it's much more likely that it will just randomly appear. And so you can't have your poker face. How does this relate to what I want to discuss today? Well, let me start by asking my second question. Have you ever been in a situation speaking publicly, or to people on Zoom, or to anyone really, who had not a controlled poker face, but a dull, lifeless, and uninterested expression on their face? Kind of like this. Raise your hand. Everybody, right? Now, I've encountered this numerous times. This is a problem that negatively affects everybody present. One of the hardest things to do when it comes to speaking in public, or even to just one person, is feeling confident that you have something worthwhile to say and that the person in front of you is actually listening. There are many times that I've spoken in public, at our meetings, at the district conference, at the area competition, and online presentations where I've seen people whose facial expressions look just absent. Sometimes there are comments from those people that reflect that lack of attention because their comment isn't related in any way whatsoever to what I actually said. But then other times, and this is rare, I'm surprised by those same faces because they end up providing me with some insightful feedback, and I had no idea that they were listening. In every case, however, it was a challenge for me as a speaker to be enthusiastic in my delivery when I saw these expressions, because it felt like a lack of interest, a lack of support and energy, and it was unclear if they were paying attention, and I wasn't sure how my message was being received. Now, I have different techniques to try and regain my audience's engagement and my own enthusiasm. I might, for example, raise my voice with a big smile on my face, or I might insert a pause, or I might speak a little bit more softly to force you to listen closely. But ultimately, the best technique for me to maintain my enthusiasm was for me to remember that I have something valuable to share. Now, based on this, raise your hand if you think the speaker is the person most impacted by the listener's facial expression. Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. It isn't. It's actually you, the listener, because as listeners, our body language, our posture, our facial expressions play a huge role in how we actually absorb information. An upright posture, an open body language, an alertness in our face, that increases attention and receptivity. And the added bonus, of course, is that it creates a more supportive and encouraging environment for the speaker too. So let me give you an example from my salsa career, traveling all around the world, teaching hundreds of workshops to thousands of people. Anytime that I was explaining a concept and I saw my students standing there, resting in one hip, hands in their pockets or their hunched shoulders, I would pause whatever I was saying and I would address it immediately. I would say, yes, we're not dancing in this moment, but what I'm saying will help and improve your dancing. This is the moment you want to be paying extra close attention, and that posture is not receptive. It's resting and it's taking a break, and so is your brain. Why are you here? I mean, I'm assuming you're here to learn and learn as much as possible, but this info that I'm giving to you I already know. If you want to leave with it, you need to be 100% present in mind, body, and energy. Now, not only would I see that specific student change their posture, but everyone in the workshop would end up adjusting themselves and give themselves a little check. As a result of being fully present, my students always left with a wealth of applicable knowledge. Ultimately, it is a choice. It's a choice to be present, a choice to show up, a choice to pay attention, a choice to learn, a choice to grow from every experience and interaction. As for us here today, we made that first choice. We're already here in the meeting. Do we want to feel like we spent an hour and got nothing or the bare minimum from it? Or do we want to get as much as possible from every second? When you're listening to anyone speak, don't just think about what they're saying, but think about how you're listening. And one way to do that is by choosing your poker face. Activating the muscles in your face, not to show impassiveness, but to show alertness, interest, and engagement. And I promise you, if you can be aware of what's happening here in your face and in your body and adjust it consciously, you will absorb more value from every minute of your life. Thank you.